welcome to MastoCast. Welcome to episode 43 of the MastoCast. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you're having a really nice weekend. If you listen to this on the Friday that comes out, the new Not Loose album is out. If you listen to this now, let's face it, you probably listen to the new Not Loose album, like I will be now, probably. So you'll get a review of that next week, because I don't get albums in advance, obviously. But yeah, anyways, I hope you're having a nice weekend if you listen to this on the day it comes out on the Friday. Hope you're doing well. And thanks to anyone who's listened to the previous podcast. Yeah, your support is always, always, always forever grateful. I'm always forever grateful for your support. Yeah, I'm Master Dan. Thanks for coming in to my monoblog podcast where I just talk a lot of babbling crap about a bit of life thrown in there, but mainly music and video games and just like what's good, really. What's good, what I've been up to, that sort of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, bit of a yeah, I mean, I've generally haven't been doing much this week, really. I've been tending to the garden, really. I'm starting to tend to a bit of a garden guy. Been pulling the weeds out and shit. Been watering plants. All that lovely stuff. Hopefully, gonna make my garden look fucking mint. During the summer, so we'll see how I get on with that. That's it, really. Oh no, I fixed a trigger issue of my Game Boy Advance that I modded quite recently. I fixed it. I installed an amplifier that makes the speaker go really, really loud. Why? Because I'm deaf as fuck, and I just wanted something to do. Eh? Anyways, that's all I've been up to really this week. Not a lot. I'm back at work now. After having 4 days off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. Anyways, I should probably go straight into it. Really, the reason why I haven't gone all guns blazing with the intro of the podcast really is it would feel wrong. But I also just gotta acknowledge the passing of the late great Steve Albini, who unfortunately died of a heart attack. On May the 7th in Chicago at the age of 61. And for those who do not know Steve Albini was just one of the most recognizable figures within rock and alternative music, as a producer and as well as an artist, as part of a couple of bands he's been in, and just an absolute plethora of material that he's been involved in with bands. Honestly, it's the list. I was looking at his Wikipedia earlier on, just in preparation for this, because that I do know some albums that he's written, but there's tons of it on there that I just generally want to check out now. That I feel like, God, I just wish I did this sooner. But like the influence that he's made, the impact he's made on bands, and the albums he's made and everything, and the bands he's a part of, like his actual bands that he plays with, unbelievable. So he was in two bands also. Like, really sadly, Shellac were due to release an album a week before he passed away. Obviously Shellac being his main band. The album To All Trains was due to be released in a week, which is really, really sad. And of course, he was part of a band called Big Black, which were a band I was kind of unfamiliar with. Shellac, I've always been familiar with. I love the 1000 Hertz album. It's one I used to listen to all the time when I lived in Leeds. But he's also in a band called Big Black, I should say, from the 80s. The band I was kind of unfamiliar with, to be honest. I'm part of a group chat on Facebook. Like I've got like a little Outbreak. Just the guys who I go to Outbreak with. We've got like a little group chat, and we were talking about Steve Albini and stuff like that. And of course, he passed away. And two of my good mates in the chat, shout out to them, James Haig and Graham Wayne. They mentioned Big Black, and I said, look, I'm not really familiar with them. And I think both of them unanimously just said listen to Kerosene, the track. So I listened to the track Kerosene from the album Atomizer. I ended up just listening to the whole album. Where has this been all my life? This album is it's just great. They play to a drum machine, and it's just like the most like scabrous of guitars and just heaviness and punk. Like it's just really really cool music. Like really post punky but heavy, and just scratchy. I love it. And that's a band that I'm gonna have to get really into now. And I mean, I don't think Big Black would go on anyways, but Shellac, I've never had the opportunity to see live, unfortunately, as much as I'd want to. But it sucks. I do believe Shellac were meant to be on tour as well, this year. So obviously, that's obviously going to be cancelled. The album, I assume, is going to go ahead. It's going to be released. But yeah, it's really sad, and I just want to like talk about a few like highlights, like a few albums that he's worked on with other bands that I generally love, because it would take me a very very long podcast to go through absolutely every single one that's on his Wikipedia. So yeah, basically, Closer by Failure. Failure's debut album, a band that are really, really influenced by, obviously, big influences to like Basement and like Super Heaven, those type of bands, like really early grunge, heavy rock, but very spacey as well. Closer is a cool album by them. It's definitely not their best album, but like it's got that production that's really, really recognizable about Steve Albini. Steve Albini always had like this really recognizable tone to the music. Like it was always so raw, and the rawness of every band brought out the emotions of each artist really, really well, I thought. And like he just had a way of guitar tones, like sounding like really sharp and creative, like just made bands just sound like real one-offs, in my opinion. And I think like if you listen to a band like Failure, like their first album Closer, it is kind of like you could tell there's something special there. And like Failure obviously had albums after that that are unbelievable. Like if you haven't listened to it, I know it's not a Steve Albini album, but if you haven't listened to Fantastic Planet, that is a top 20 album for me, probably. But I'd say Closer is still a good album to like begin with, because that is a band like in the works, and that production from Steve Albini, sorry, is just it's just a hell of a great listen. It's awesome. I can't not mention In Utero by Nirvana. I mean, I know everyone tends to go towards Nevermind as the Nirvana album, like being the best one and everything. The iconic album cover with the baby like in the pool fishing for $1. And obviously, all the big hits are on there. Smells Like Teen Spirit and Come As You Are and all that sort of stuff. But In Utero, that was when the band. This is after their big mainstream album, their big album to get them out there, that ended up selling millions upon millions upon millions. The fact that they made that album and then Nirvana just basically went, we want to make an album that is thrashier, dirtier, scuzzier, rawer, and they did that with In Utero, and I just think Steve Albini just made some absolute perfection out of that band. Like for me, In Utero is my favorite Nirvana album. I absolutely love it. Like Serve the Servants and Servant's Apprentice and all that, and All Apologies, just an unbelievable album, and obviously like an album to listen to like off the back of that is the Unplugged Nirvana album, because they're pretty much just play songs off that album. I think they play like one or two of Nevermind, but they pretty much just play from that set is just all In Utero. So yeah, that is an absolute masterpiece of an album. In Utero by Nirvana, it's incredible. Goat by the Jesus Lizard, a band that I've actually kind of just got into because of the, funny enough, What's in My Bag episode, not mine, the actual Amoeba Records. They did an episode with the band Health, and the guy recommended Goat by Jesus Lizard. Really, really cool album. I like it. I've only listened to it like once or twice, but it's awesome. Like very, very scrappy sounding. It's awesome. McCluskey do Dallas. McCluskey are a band from the UK. Sort of like the mid-noughties era, part of like British rock sound. Like, you know, they're kind of formed around about the time like Ruben did and 100 Reasons and all them sort of bands. And McCluskey do Dallas is a fucking great album. It's like a Fugazi album. I absolutely love that. Times of Grace by Neurosis. That's a highlight for me. Just like one of the most ultimate doom metal albums ever. I mean, Neurosis are a bit of a I don't think people like to talk about Neurosis too much due to the fact that Scott Kelly, the frontman, is a bit of a wrong'un. But you can't deny the work on that album is amazing. One for Haley, Frankie Aero and the Future Violence. He did an album with them called Barriers, and I'm sure I'm missing a lot of. I'm sure I am missing a lot of, but I'm just going to finalize with. I'm going to finalize with The Above by Code Orange, which came out last year. One of my favorite albums of the year, and I raved on about how amazing that album is, how incredible the production is, how brilliantly heavy it is, how the way it sounds, and you know, it's just testament to Steve Albini as a person, as a musician, as a producer, engineer. You know, starting from Big Black and Shellac and everything else, and being a producer, working with bands like Nirvana, Jesus Lizard, Neurosis, Failure, Pixies, and just plenty more that I've missed off, and you know, right to his, you know, last year as a producer, still coming out with phenomenal work like Code Orange, The Above. Just what a talent! Like, still to be doing it in his early 60s. He's definitely gone way too soon, man. Way too soon. And it really, really sucks. And you know, it's safe to say that modern alternative rock music, I don't think it would be the same without Steve Albini, personally. The work that he's just done is just absolute 5-star. So yeah, that's how I wanted to start off the podcast. I just wanted to, you know, there's been an absolute outpouring of tributes and love towards Steve Albini from like loads of many artists and like, you know, music magazines, publishers, and everything. Like that, my social media just like broke out for Steve Albini. So yeah, just what an absolute legend. Rest in power, Steve Albini. Just what a legacy, what a legend. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for Steve Albini. Finished watching Fallout. That was really good. That was really bloody good. Fallout, I have never played before, right? Okay. So I just want to talk about that a little bit. There's 8 episodes of Fallout, new series on Amazon Prime. Obviously, taken after the video game series. I don't know exactly whereabouts. But I've just started playing Fallout 4. Like, I mean, literally just started playing it. Like, I'm 2 hours in. I've never played one before up until I've finished the series. But as someone who's never watched the Fallout series, as someone who's never played the Fallout games before, I couldn't help but really, really enjoy it. It was so good. I highly recommend it to anyone. Even if you're not into the games or anything like that. I just highly recommend it. It's a really, really good series. Really, really full of humor. It's very fucking violent in places. Like first episode, like really, really surprised me when it properly kicked off in terms of like the violence and everything. Like it just really really takes you by surprise. But yeah, like there's lots of good twists and turns throughout the series. Really cool, interesting characters, really memorable. There's got a good plot to the story. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine at work about it, and like he said, where they end up right at the very end leads to like another Fallout game. Um, so like I'm basically gonna go all in on Fallout 4. I think. Um, it's really cool, really cool series. I highly recommend anybody watching that. Um, yeah, Fallout was awesome. I got some more game news. And it's of Nintendo. So Nintendo did their financial meetings. I won't get into what exactly the details of it all. Basically, they have like this yearly meeting, and they go over like a bunch of like sales figures for their actual consoles and their their video games throughout the years, like the like the Nintendo's own games, Zeldas and all that, like Super Mario. So like they've gone through like how much it's each game sold out throughout the year, and yeah, a lot of Zelda, a lot of Super Mario, and I haven't got the figures in front of me, but I can't be able to go through them because there's a lot of them. But like the Nintendo Switch is still selling a lot, which is mad, and like they're forecasting another 13 million to be sold throughout the next 12 months, which is bonkers. Really, it looks like it might overthrow the PlayStation 2 and might end up being the best-selling console of all time, which is yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be the most successful Nintendo console. I think the DS is still just winning at the moment, which is mad to think. But yeah, the Switch is still selling incredibly well on its 8th year, which is amazing. And at the end of that, there was a bit of an announcement from Nintendo on the X profile, the at Nintendo Co Limited, from Furukawa. So it simply states, "This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo. We will make an announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We'll be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024. But please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation." So it's gonna come. It's coming, man. The new, is it a Nintendo Switch 2? Is it a Super Nintendo Switch? A Nintendo Switch Advance? What could it be? Like, could it be a completely new console altogether? A lot of people are sort of speculating that it's going to be a new Switch, which I will be very happy with. Like, if they can make like a Nintendo Switch, but more powerful, a lot better. Basically, it has the ability to like have PlayStation 4 graphics or whatever. Then that's cool. I mean, I'm very happy with the Switch how it is. Like, the games on it are incredible. There's still good stuff coming out, and it's interesting to see. It's mad. It just feels like yesterday since the Switch first came out. Like, when lockdown happened and people were going absolutely batty for it and everyone was just getting one over lockdown and getting Animal Crossing. So yeah, we will be hearing something soon about the next console, really, which is mad. And also, we've got a Nintendo Direct coming up in June, so we'll see what new video games are coming out. I mean, at the moment, there's not a lot to look forward to game-wise for the Nintendo. There's the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door GameCube remake that's coming out to Nintendo Switch. But other than that, there's nothing really. There's not a lot. I think Luigi's Mansion 2, again a remake, and Endless Ocean, which was on the partner direct a few weeks ago, which I mentioned, which doesn't look really my thing, but like, there could possibly be a new Metroid, or there could be another Zelda remake or something like that, or I mean, there's been a few different Marios the last few months, really, like probably ever since October. Like, you know, we've had RPG, we've had Wonder, we've had Mario versus Donkey Kong, that sort of thing. We could have a new Donkey Kong. We could have that. Who knows? But it's exciting to know that we're gonna get a direct in June. You know, next month. So yeah, bring it on. And who knows what the new who knows what we will hold for the new console? Could it be an upgrade of the Nintendo Switch? You know, like the Game Boy Advance was for the Game Boy Color. Who knows? We will see. We will absolutely see. Anyways, I've got to answer some questions. When I mean questions, I mean question. And I got one from Haley. Shout out Haley. She's just booked my birthday. Going to Newcastle for my birthday. Going to NQ64. Very, very excited for that. And Turtle Bay for a bottomless brunch. Hell yeah. I'm going to get rat-assed. I'm going to play some video games. Let's fucking go. And her question is, would you rather swim in a pool full of Nutella or a pool full of maple syrup? I mean, I love both of those things. I think I'm going to have to go with Nutella on this one. Maple syrup, I will just feel fucking minging. Like, being covered in maple syrup. I never like it when it touches my fingers and it's very sticky and I have to wash it off. Whereas Nutella, I could just lick it off. And it'll be fine. It won't be sticky or anything. I could just lick my whole body off after I've swam in a pool of Nutella, which would be rad. I think like as well, like it'll be easier to like digest. You know, if I'm swimming and I'm like eating at the same time, it will be harder to do that in a swimming pool full of maple syrup. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm gonna go for Nutella. That's what I'm gonna go with. But yeah, there we go. That's it basically. I've got a little bit of music to throw out to you. Just some shout outs. Some new albums that have come out recently. Come with a Storm by High on Fire. I was listening to this while I was de-weeding the garden. It is, of course, Mike Pike's side project from Sleep. Basically stoner metal band. Mastodon groovy vibes. It's a 58-minute long album. Very, very heavy. It's awesome. Killer guitar tones. Yeah, highly recommend that. It's got a pirate ship for an album cover. Cometh a Storm by High on Fire. It's really good. And the vocals are awesome as well. Like, generally sound like he's curdling glass. Dark Matter by Pearl Jam, the first Pearl Jam album that I've liked in recent years, really. I've never been all that bothered about the last few. But, you know, Pearl Jam are legends. And I love their early stuff. So I thought I'd give the new album a listen anyways. And yeah, it's a really good album, to be fair. Produced by Andrew Wyatt, who was the guy who did like the latest Ozzy Osbourne albums and stuff. And he just seems to have a good idea of giving some older bands a bit of a kick up the arse, really. So yeah, the new Pearl Jam album is great. Like, a lot of good hard rock going on in here. It's safe to say that they don't really do the grunge anymore. I think they go for more like a Stone Temple Pilots type sound these days. But it's very sort of classic rock here and there. Very sort of a couple of ballads that sound pretty good. There's a couple of like folky numbers as well. It's very good. It's a very good album. I'm very, very happy with it. I'll give it a couple of listens. The reason I'm going like quite minimal on these ones, like full scale review or anything, just because I've only given them like 1 or 2 listens. You know, and another album that I listened to that just sounds like literal hell on earth, literal disgusting hell on earth that is just strangling me to death. Is an album called New Heaven by Interama. I listened to this after the High on Fire album, as I was you know, doing the garden still. New Heaven by Interama is just extreme black metal, very very atmospheric, very heavy, just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Some quite long songs in there. Some Paul Bearer sounding like dual guitars that go on. Very Iron Maiden in some parts. Some of the vocals sound very, very goth. Some of them, like one of the songs, sounded a bit like Will Gull from Creeper, and but yeah, it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. This album, it's great. It's heavy as fuck, man. Into Armor, New Heaven. That's all I'll say. That is an album that for me, like, I need a few more listens to. Yeah, like the guitar tone at the beginning of New Heaven, like the first song, like it's just disgusting. It's gross, and I like that. And yeah, that'll do it there for this week's podcast, episode 43. Hope you've enjoyed listening to it. If you want to ask some questions to be put in the podcast, feel free to go to the description below for the for this Discord. The Discord, yeah, I nearly said Discogs. That's for vinyl. Discord. So if you want to go on Discord and message me questions or my Instagram, if you're that bored, all that sort of shit, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, absolutely more than welcome to. It's a cool space. We hang out, we talk about games. It's great. And yeah, next week I'll talk about the new Knocked Loose album, which I'm very, very excited for. Yeah, very, very excited for. And of course, shout out Steve Albini for being the best and leaving an amazing legacy. Yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Play some fucking Nirvana, play some Pixies, play the new Lyrics Code Orange album. Shellac, Big Black, Jesus Lizard, all that shit, man. Just play his stuff in honor of him. What a legend. See you later, everyone. Thanks very much for listening. Take care. Bye.